Lord, we give you thanks for this another day that we have been granted to live here and enjoy the beauty of our community and the part of the state of Tennessee that we live in. God, we thank you for your many blessings. We ask you to watch over us now as we conduct business now, that it be for the betterment of our community and for all of our citizens. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Sheriff Cassidy.
Attention, salute, pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Crawford and Sheriff Cassidy. When the board opens, please record your presence. Has every member recorded their presence? Madam Clerk.
21 present, 3 absent.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We have a quorum. County Commission will come to order. Our first order of business, I'd like to recognize Mayor Venable for proclamation honoring Sullivan County EMS for their post-Helene response efforts. Mayor Venable.
Chairman,
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Mayor Venable.
Do we have EMS members here with us tonight? They're out working, doing their job protecting Sullivan County. So I'm honored to be asked by Chairman Gardner to read a proclamation, if I may, and I will hand deliver this to our EMS head. Whereas Hurricane Helene ravaged most of northeast Tennessee on Friday, September 27, 2024. But Sullivan County received little damage relative to the devastation Helene inflicted on neighboring counties. Thank you. Whereas Sullivan County Emergency Medical Services were able to respond quickly to help Unicoi, Carter, and Greene County. Whereas Sullivan County EMS personnel and equipment would remain in Unicoi County for 4 days. And whereas Sullivan County EMS received its second call from Carter County and responded to Elizabeth and to assist in transportation of patients from Sycamore Shoals Hospital to other facilities in the region. Whereas on Saturday, September 28th, Sullivan County EMS was deployed to yet another neighbor to assist with evacuation of about 60 patients from Greenville Community Hospital in Greenville, Tennessee, who were transported to Holston Valley Medical Center in Kingsport. Whereas EMS Director Kevin March said when the calls to respond to neighboring counties began, he was able to call in extra personnel without problem. And in all, the agencies provided more than 600 extra man-hours to neighboring counties in the storm's aftermath without compromising service to Sullivan County residents. Now therefore be it resolved, the Sullivan County Commission issues this proclamation honoring and thanking all members of the Sullivan County EMS in recognition of outstanding community service in Northeast Tennessee in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. Such service above and beyond the already high standard available from Sullivan County EMS County residents. Pardon me just a minute while I turn the page. Further be it resolved, the Commission on this 21st day of November 2024 encourage all citizens to celebrate and support Sullivan County EMS for its exemplary response at such times of distress and peril for our neighbors, without any reduction in concurrent services to Sullivan County residents. In witness here, I set my hand and cause this seal of Sullivan County to be affixed in Lumble this 21st day of November 2024. So we congratulate our EMS, are thankful for them. And I would like to mention that even though they're not in the resolution, our EMA, headed up by Jim Bean, Director Jim Bean, spent countless days in the emergency operations centers of Washington County and Carter County. So I congratulate those people. We're fortunate to have them as county employees, and they're more beyond employees. They dedicate their life to the service of Sullivan County. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Venable. If there's no objection, I'm going to break from the order, and I'm going to go past appointments just for a second, and I'm going to Commissioner King asked to be recognized for introduction of guests. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Good evening. We got two ladies we'd like to introduce tonight. We've got some changes in the city of Bluff City, and we've got a new mayor and a new city manager. And with that said, if Miss Lori and Miss Michelle, would you come forward? This is Miss Lori Staton, and she is the newly elected mayor of Bluff City. And Miss Michelle Roberts is the new city manager of Bluff City. I want to welcome both of them to their new positions, and I think Herschel and I went to the last meeting that they had, and it just seems like there's a new air in the room of Bluff City. And I think there's some new, hopefully there's some people that make some changes. And these two right here will be at the front, and so Herschel and I, anything that we can do as far as, working with them as a county, we'd be more than welcome to do that. I think the first order of business that Miss Lori's going to have, there's a gavel over on the desk about that long and about that big around. And she's going to ask Mr. Glover if he'd kindly step down and go back to his seat and be quiet. So, we're going to break him in early, and that way we can stay ahead of it. So, but anyway, I want to welcome these two ladies, and hopefully we get a lot done. And there's a lot, I think there's a lot of future in Bluff City, and it just needs to be nourished and moved along. And I think the citizens of Bluff City expect that, and hopefully we can get that done. So, thank you all. Go ahead.
The last meeting we were at, there were more attendants at that meeting that they've been at a Bluff City meeting in several years. And I think it's the organization, and it's just a new morale of excitement and leadership that y'all brought forward. Especially, I've been on the commission for 6 years now. We got an agenda from Bluff City. We was told up front what was going on. It's pretty exciting to see that. And thank y'all for the organizational leadership. And please say something to the commission if you would.
We are so happy to Bluff City further and we're going to do it as a team. We're going to all work together. We are just thrilled that the people have come back to meetings. They've told us that they are enjoying having a voice again, and they really appreciate that we care. But we do want Bluff City to grow. We want to foster relationships and gain the trust back of the people, but also to work with all of the citizens for the betterment of our town, not my town, our town, and all of Sullivan County. So I'm thrilled to be given this opportunity.
And I'm super excited to be joined with Mayor Staton. I think we've got a lot of great things coming. We've got some ideas, and we've got fantastic people that are working really hard to make some changes and strides going forward. And Bluff City is going to be better than ever, and we're going to make sure that happens.
Thank you.
Thank you both for being here, and you're invited to come in anytime. Next order, appointments. Order reappointing board members, whereas Sullivan County Board of Zoning Appeals does hereby certify to the Sullivan County Board of Commissioners pursuant to TCA 13-7-106, as duly adopted by Sullivan County, Tennessee, that 2 vacancies have occurred upon said Board of Zoning Appeals by virtue of the expiration of the terms. Sullivan County Board of Zoning Appeals further certifies that the nominees Linda Brittenham and Ty LaRue are qualified and willing to serve on the Sullivan County Board of Zoning Appeals. Now therefore be it resolved, the judge and decreed by the Sullivan County Board of Commissioners in their authority to appoint members to said Board of Zoning Appeals pursuant to TCA 13-7-106, that the above nominees are appointed to serve on the Sullivan County Board of Zoning Appeals, and those names again are Linda Brittenham, term will expire November 2028, and also Ty LaRue, term will also expire November 2028. Any discussion on the nominees? Recognize Commissioner Glover.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On the second appointment, Ms. Brittenham to the Sullivan County Board of Zoning Appeals term, I've got a nomination that I would like to bring forward on it if I could, please. I'd like to nominate Gordy Peterson from Bluff City, Tennessee to that board. Gordy has served before. He's a contractor. He knows the needs and the wants of the Sullivan County residents. At this time, I'd like to nominate Gordy Peterson to fill that term out, please, sir.
Nomination is in order. Anyone else seek recognition for discussion or nomination? Commissioner Calvin.
I make a motion that we accept Ty LaRue and Linda Brittenham to continue their term.
Well, since we have 3 names, we'll have to put it up to vote. And the best way to do that is the way we did the Financial Management Committee, is the first one to 13, and then we'll do a runoff, whoever gets 13 votes. Is that palatable for everyone? Does anyone seek a recognition for Commissioner Glover? Go ahead, sir.
No, that's fine. I'm satisfied with that.
Attorney Street.
I was just gonna say, we need to lay down the groundwork on how we do this election. So you're gonna vote for one the first time?
We're gonna do all 3 names, and then whoever gets 13 will move on. Then since it's 2 seats, we're gonna do.
Well, let's stop at whoever gets 13. Let's assume that nobody gets 13. I would recommend that you come up with a procedure if that happens. Like, for example,
If no
whoever
one gets
has
13, the
lowest-
bottom vote getter comes off.
Yeah, after how many votes?
That's the way we've typically done it.
Okay.
Is that agreeable to everybody?
After the first vote or after the second vote?
after the first one, if no one reaches 13, the bottom one comes off.
Well, then you've only got 2 left, is that the way?
Then we can appoint those two.
Okay.
Is there a motion for Commissioner Vanover?
I just have one question. Does Ms. Brittenham serve on the Planning Commission and the Zoning Appeals Board?
She does.
Serve on both? Okay, that's all I want to know. Thank you.
Is there a motion for nominations to cease, and we call the roll for the appointments? Motion by Commissioner Slagle for nomination to cease, second by Commissioner Jones. All those in favor of nomination to cease will say an aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Nominations are closed. Madam Clerk, if you will, we'll have to do this by roll call vote. You say the name of the person that you wish to vote for in round one. You see? Yes. You seek recognition, Ms. Harrison?
I'm sorry, could you just repeat that third name? I didn't actually write
His
it.
name is Gordon Peterson. You have the choice of Brittenham, LaRue, or Peterson. Brittenham, LaRue, or Peterson. Madam Clerk, when you're ready, you can call the roll.
Baker. Calton.
Brittenham.
Carr.
Peterson.
Cole.
Brittenham.
Crawford.
Peterson.
Cross.
Peterson.
Crosswhite.
Brittenham.
Gardner.
Brittenham.
Glover.
Peterson.
Harvey.
Peterson.
Hayes.
Peterson.
Horn.
Peterson.
Iverson.
Peterson.
Jones.
Brittenham.
King.
Peterson.
Leonard.
Brittenham.
Law.
Peterson.
McMurray.
Peterson.
Means.
Peterson.
Pierce.
Brittenham.
Slagle.
Peterson.
Stidham.
Brittenham.
Vanover.
Peterson.
Ward.
Madam Clerk, whenever you're ready.
Does anybody wish to change their vote?
Madam Clerk.
14 Peterson, 8 Brittenham, 0 for LaRue. 2 absent.
Having received the necessary majority,
Peterson got 14, Brittenham.
Gordon Peterson is appointed to the Board of Zoning Appeals. Based on our previous recommendation, it will have to go, we now have 2 members to vote on, and that's between Brittenham and LaRue, correct?
Yes.
So when you're ready, Madam Clerk?
I guess, I thought maybe I misunderstood. I thought the lowest one would come out.
If no one reached 13. If no one reached 13, the lowest one will come off, but we now have a choice of 2. Now, that's what we agreed to. So now you have the choice of Brittenham and LaRue, correct? So when you're ready, cast your vote for either Brittenham or LaRue.
Baker. Calton.
Brittenham.
Carr.
LaRue.
Cole.
Brittenham.
Crawford.
LaRue.
Cross.
LaRue.
Crosswhite.
Brittenham.
Gardner.
Brittenham.
Glover.
LaRue.
Harvey.
LaRue.
Hayes.
LaRue.
Horn.
LaRue.
Iverson.
LaRue.
Jones.
Brittenham.
King.
LaRue.
Leonard.
Brittenham.
Law.
Brittenham.
McMurray.
Brittenham.
Brittenham.
Slagle,
LaRue.
Stidham,
Brittenham.
Vanover,
LaRue.
Ward. Would anyone like to change their vote?
Whenever you're ready, Madam Clerk. I'm glad you were keeping up with that.
I have 10 Brittenham, 12 LaRue. 2 absent.
Before I announce the vote, does any member wish to change their vote? Because we're going to have to do it again. Yes. Having failed to receive necessary majority. No one wish to change your vote? Y'all just love doing me this way, don't you? Having failed to receive the necessary majority, neither candidate moves forward. Without objection, we'll vote again between the same two applicants. Commissioner Locke?
Is either one of these individuals out here tonight for the appointment? Are they present?
No.
Okay.
We're not, right now we're in the middle of a vote. Madam Clerk?
Pinkard, absent. Calton,
Brittenham.
Carr,
LaRue.
Cole,
Brittenham.
Crawford,
LaRue.
Cross,
LaRue.
Crosswhite,
Brittenham.
Gardner,
Brittenham?
Glover,
LaRue.
Harvey,
LaRue.
Hayes,
LaRue.
Horn,
LaRue.
Iverson,
LaRue.
Jones,
Brittenham.
King,
LaRue.
Leonard,
Brittenham.
Locke,
Brittenham.
McMurray,
LaRue.
Means,
LaRue.
Pierce,
Brittenham.
Slagle,
LaRue.
Stidham,
Brittenham.
Vanover,
LaRue.
Ward, Does anybody wish to change their vote? 13 LaRue, 9 Brittenham, 2 absent.
Having received the necessary majority of the votes cast, Mr. LaRue is appointed to the Board of Zoning Appeals. Thank y'all. Easy enough. Next order, under appointments. Last month, the commission appointed 3 members to the Sullivan County Financial Management Committee. Again, the commission appointed 3, but the mayor appointed 1. And just like any other appointment, the commission has to vote on that. And Commissioner Zane Vanover has been chosen by Mayor Venable to serve on the Financial Management Committee. And that will, when the board opens, we'll vote on that. Is there any discussion on the mayor's nomination of Zane Vanover to the Financial Management Committee? Commissioner Cross.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. He also serves on the Budget Committee. Can he serve on both of those?
There is actually nothing in writing that prohibits you from serving on both committees. There's nothing in the Financial Management Act that prohibits a member from being on both. That had been a personal rule in the past, just to spread things around, but there's nothing that prohibits that. There's nothing in writing.
So this will be the first time we have done that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else seek recognition? Any further discussion? That's not on the floor. We can do a voice vote on that, the yeas and the nays. All those in favor of Commissioner Vanover being appointed to the Financial Management Committee will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no. It simply requires 13 votes. If there's no further discussion, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Akers? Alton? Yes. Carr?
Yes.
Cole?
Yes.
Crawford?
Yes.
Cross?
No.
Crosswhite? Yes. Gardner?
Yes.
Glover?
Yes.
Harvey?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
Iverson?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
Locke?
Yes.
McMurray?
Yes.
Means?
Yes.
Pierce?
Yes.
Slagle?
Yes.
Stidham?
Yes.
Vanover?
Should I abstain? Pass.
Ward? Would anybody wish to change their vote? 20 yes, 1 no, 2 absent, 1 abstain.
Having received the necessary majority, Commissioner Zane Vanover is appointed to the Sullivan County Financial Management Committee. Sir. Thank you very well, Mr. Sir. Next order, presentations. I'd like to recognize our friend Clay Walker from Networks for Networks update.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. It's good to be back. I'm running a month late on my quarterly reports. I'm sure you've all memorized the quarterly newsletter by now, so I won't go through that report. We are happy that we congratulate our friends in Kingsport who announced 2 projects since I last spoke to you, Share Logistics and O'Neill Manufacturing. I'd like to especially congratulate and recognize Stephen Bauer, the Director of Economic Development for the City of Kingsport. He's new to his job. He was recently promoted, and he's doing a very good job. It's been a while since you approved a pilot program for a project in Maverick. Y'all were generous enough to offer a pilot in hopes of an expansion of an existing company in Piney Flats. We haven't made that announcement yet. The project is still very active, and we feel very positive about the project moving forward. But they at another plant are going through a large expansion, and they're kind of taking care of that before they move forward with this. It's nothing to worry about, but we look forward to reporting favorably about that soon. I'd also like to thank Commissioner King for pointing out a draining issue that we have an adjacent property owner to some industrial property that we're looking into in Piney Flats. As well as we've talked a long time about getting a sign, and I think it's on your agenda tonight that we're requesting that we've taken bids, and Snyder Signs won the bid, and this would be for the sign going into Tri-County Park. We're going to spend $125,000. We already have $75,000 that we have access to in the Economic Development Fund, so there's still plenty of money in that fund, and we need $50,000 more to come out so that we can make that project a reality. That will include just taking down the old sign, doing landscaping, lighting, and construction of a new sign. And we're very excited about how it's gonna look, and it's long overdue. The sign's been there since the park's been there. Speaking of the park, we also are asking your permission later tonight, is on the agenda for us to just apply on behalf of an existing industry that wants to expand in the park. It's some undeveloped property at the end of Parkview Circle, a cul-de-sac that goes by KPS, behind KPS, and there's 35 some odd acres, and they want to build their building, but we're also looking at an SIA grant, a state industrial access grant, to do a road. It would be 100% paid for by TDOT if successful, and the state would also handle the design and engineering aspects of the road. It's eligible for it because it's not just for this industry. They would like to build other buildings there to lease to other companies, 3 or 4 other buildings back there. And Michael Parker, Director of Economic Development, has been working with them on this, so it doesn't commit us to anything. It just says we can go to DDOT and ask for the grant on behalf of the company. And again, this grant is a 100% grant, so we would not be coming back for money afterwards. And I guess that's it. I mean, I want to get out of your way. I know you have tourism in front of you. They're a vital part of economic development. We don't do tourism because we have great people who do. And we were talking about tourism to a community class today, a high school sophomores, juniors, and seniors in Bristol. And so we look forward to hearing their presentation. We appreciate our partnership with tourism. We also appreciate our partnership with the airport, which I know you're looking at funding to potentially get a flight there. We're on the airport's economic development committee, of course, and we've worked a long time with Christy Halsey and Trevor Rice, and of course Gene Causey, and we have 100% faith what they deliver is going to be good for our region. So at any rate, I'd be happy to, as always, to answer any questions that you might have.
Anyone seek recognition for questions? Commissioner King.
Clay, when we get done with this 35 acres that we're talking about developing,
Yes, sir.
how much acreage is left in the Tri-County Industrial Park?
I think there's just one slither of, like 5 to 7 acres in that park. We're on the lookout for more park. Of course, we're developing a site out by the airport. It's actually in Kingsport, the edge of Kingsport, that we purchased from KDB, a 35-acre site. We're just beginning the engineering work on that, and then we'll seek monies from the state for site development grants to improve that property. We're working on developing a partnership with the city of Bristol, Fund Networks, and Bristol developing another site with the help of $1 million grant, high impact site development grant from the state in Partnership Part 2. BTS is working on developing 2 sites right now. And by the way, I believe it's on December 3rd, the company will be sending out invites. The company is doing it at A.Y. McDonald is having a groundbreaking on that site, which was a BTS site that was funded for $500,000, in part with a $500,000 grant from the state. We're currently working with our partners on about $3.5 million of state money for the grant. So the state is being very active partners in doing that. But yes, Mr. King, we are looking for more property as we always are. Again, 3 of the last 4 sites we developed. We've sold all 4, and 3 of those were sold before the site work was even done. So we don't sell very much property until we develop it, but when we develop, we sell it right away. So, you know, I'm not real smart, but that kind of tells me we need to keep developing more property.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else? Questions or comments for Mr. Walker? Mr. Walker, it's always a treat to see you.
It's always a treat to be here. I appreciate all your support. Thank you very much for the work you did.
Thank you, sir. Next, I'd like to invite Chris Erkey for update on Observation Non-Park. Good evening, Mr. Erkey.
Good evening.
thank you all for allowing me to come this evening to talk to you about Observational Park with an update and to take any questions that you may have that I can get you an answer to. So I would first like to start with the park revenue over the last 5 years, and just I'll break it down quickly for you. Over the last 5 years, the first 2 years, which started in 2018, the first 2 years the park was in the red, which means that it ultimately lost money. The last 4 years that I have been at Observational Park, we have been in the black. We've put thousands of dollars into the general fund for Sullivan County, totaling $323,012.32. This commission approved back in the spring for us to be able to get $80,000 to spend on improvements at the park, which we did do. And those improvements this summer have really enhanced the park. The visitors who have come to the park have enjoyed having those updates, so we appreciate that very much. We have collected and deposited into the hotel motel tax since this was started in 2023, $11,316 that we paid into the hotel motel tax. Our numbers are up this year at Observational Park. I'm going to say this season, compared to 4 years ago, our daily entry fee, the numbers were significantly low for a property that big. So with these enhancements to the park, we have collected to date, and we are still collecting because this is the first winter that our boat ramp will be open to the public. So these numbers will continue to go up over the winter, but we have collected $40,512 in just $3 fees. So that kind of gives you a breakdown of how many people that has come through the gate. It's approximately 13,504 people, whether it be boaters, people going to our swim area, or picnic shelters. Those numbers and those fees do not include the campground. That is just solely $3 day use area. One way that we have been able to increase our revenue at Observational Park is, we have lots of trees there, so we have started, when we have a tree that comes down or one has to be cut, our team splits and bundles and sells the firewood instead of just disposing of it. So we have brought in $3,704 in this camping season. Also, we started last winter, the park committee approved for us to open up to the public for some winter sites because we had requests from the community. We had workers who were working on the Bristol Casino that were here with campers and had nowhere else to put them. So with that approval, it carried over into this season. So we have now closed the seasonal area the first weekend in November. We have opened up select number of sites for winter camping. And so far in November, we collected $7,200 in winter camping. So that will continue throughout. We've got them on a 4-month, so it would end at the end of February. So we're going to approximately average $7,200 a month through the winter months that the park has never been able to receive. So those two things alone is how we are increasing the revenues for Observational Park. With the $80,000, I won't go through everything, but basically we have a remodeled bathhouse that has a heat pump that's been installed on it, new toilets, stalls, sinks, plumbing, electrical, and we have a brand new boat ramp that we also paid for out of the $80,000 that you all approved for us to spend. New fencing around our playground to keep our children contained to the playground instead of open to the road. Other big things that the park has achieved over the past 3 years is new electrical panels and sub-panels throughout the park. That was notated in the inspection to the state of Tennessee that has been replaced under, I think it was around $25,000 repair that we had done last year. We have in the sum spent somewhere around $200,000 in updates at Observation Park. And we thank you all for allowing us to do that. During the recent storms, we did receive some damage. We had a lot of downed trees and just debris everywhere. So we would like to thank our folks at Jacobs Creek Job Corps who were there to help us, not only to cut and remove, but just the general cleanup of the park. Also, we had Agri-Service Tree Company who cut and removed 15 very large trees. The invoice was $10,000, and that was donated to Observation Knob. Zero payment from Sullivan County was due. So we appreciate those folks for coming out. And then we had a ton of outside volunteers and park users who just come to clean the park and get it to where we could open it up. So we've got a lot of people who care about the park. Our numbers for tent camping is up this season by about 65%. We are the only campground in the Bristol area that offers tent camping with electric and water. And then our numbers for camping in general are up. So we take a lot of pride in operating the park safely, in advertising the park and getting guests to the park. We have joined with Passport America. That's a free membership, and that alone has brought in over 200 nights booked this camping season alone. So that's money that Observation Knob would have never seen, and we've had people as far as Maine to visit the park. So we're very excited about the future of Observation Knob Park, and we hope that we have your continued support. There is some concerns about the water bill and Intermont Utility. We have reviewed these water bills throughout the years, past couple of years. There has been some question about the water bills. At one point, there was a comment that maybe there was a lot of leaks. Well, we have replaced a few leaks, but nothing to that altitude. I can tell you that Observation Knob Park was just winterized, and that is done with pressure. And we lost 0 air. Better solution for the water. I think that we have Attorney Street looking into that, and Mayor Venable as well. I appreciate your all support and understanding. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Irk. Does anyone seek recognition?
Great. Ms. Torbett might be available to come up and answer a couple questions.
Sure. Amber? She's coming in.
Ms. Torbett.
So this is in regard to the grant.
Yes.
So can you let us know, is there a deadline on when the grant has to be finished?
So the contract, sorry, I'm short. The contract is typically for 5 years. From when it was signed, we got our notice to proceed in August, so it's 5 years from that.
And I'm maybe slow on this. How much longer do we have? Because I think you got the award, what, 3 years ago?
We have 5 years.
Okay, you got the award 3 years ago, is that correct?
So we were awarded the grant in November of 2022. The contract I believe. Then was official in January. You all had to adopt the TDOT standard for hiring a consulting engineer, that manual last summer, and that was adopted, so that delayed it. We officially received the notice to proceed in August of this year. There were a lot of changeovers with TDOT too, so this wasn't something the county was delaying on, this was TDOT's delay. So the notice to proceed to hire a consulting engineer for the environmental permits, which is standard practice for all grants, whether it's state or federal, that was obtained in mid-August. So we have 5 years from that.
From August of '24?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so is there a plan that you have with the benchmarks on what's going to be accomplished?
Yes, so I laid that on your desk. That was asked of me to summarize. The second sheet has those tasks. What I did is I took the grant application that was awarded and summarized. I won't read all those bullet points. The way the grant is organized per Federal Highway Administration, we had to reach those targeted purposes and needs such as safety, accessibility, economic and cultural development. So that the tasks that we hope to achieve were summarized under those categories. But in order of how we're going to spend the money is probably what you really want to know within the next 5 years. The first year, task 1, which is at the bottom of the second page, that is mandatory. We have to send out a RFQ, request for qualifications, to a consulting firm to do the environmental review per NEPA, National Environmental Policy Act, and then they'll do the preliminary engineering. Of course, we've done concept planning. We know what we want to do, but surveying and engineering is required. The first year, we estimate it'll take a year to get that done. After that, the other tasks are based on whether, when you pave, resurface, that, obviously you can't do that in January. So those could be shifted around. But we prioritize the tasks to meet the ADA transition plan, which, the county's obligated to do anyway if we keep the park. So we prioritize ADA accessibility as our first goal, which is handicap parking, railing, ramps. The office itself is not accessible. Should one of the staff get hurt, the office, you can't even manipulate a wheelchair. So those things need to come first. And then any side use path throughout the paved area and the all-inclusive accessible playground. We prioritize those based on those needs.
I guess my question was, do you have a plan where it shows where your benchmarks are, your milestones, so that you know that you'll have everything completed within the deadline, or do you have that put together?
Well, yeah, the last paragraph on the second page has those benchmarks by year.
See that. So would you?
I don't know what report, this is the handout. 5-year plan tasks by year. I mean, that's it.
And so who's going to administer it? Who's going to administer it?
The grants?
Mm-hmm.
So the grant has to be administered by those who took the training. So you'll have the purchasing agent and her assistants, Chris and I.
Okay. All right. So my understanding is that when you spend the money is with this grant is then reimbursed once someone comes, I guess, and inspects it and audits it and then determines that it's paid. The money comes back to reimburse the county.
No, this is 100% funded by the federal government. So we don't pay the invoices. It's fully funded. It's managed through TDOT. So I don't believe there's a reimbursement. The task would have to be authorized and the invoice sent to the state to pay.
Okay. So when you put together, well, this is the last question, when you put together the, how much this would cost and to get the amount of the grant, that's correct?
Yeah.
Given that we've, in the last 3 years, had the highest rate of inflation in our country in many, many years, how do you expect to pay for all these things within what you estimated the price to be 3 years ago?
Well, I would say that's the fault with every grant. You do the best you can when you put together the grant application. You get cost estimates from whoever's going to do the work or in the area, and you propose that budget. Federal Highway Administration actually awarded us more than what we requested. It is 100% funded, 0% county match. If we don't tackle all of that and we run out of money, you're not obligated to do the playground, for example. I would say we should really focus on ADA accessibility because we're obligated anyway by law with our transition plan. We're obligated for this building and everything, you know, the county manages.
So you may not be able to do everything that's in here.
Right,
because of that.
right.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you, Commissioner Harvey. Anyone else seek recognition? Anyone else seek recognition? Thank you both.
Thank you.
Without objection, next order, approval of commission minutes of October 10, 2024, rezoning hearing work session meeting, called meeting October 17, 2024. And as normal, all of our commission meetings can be found at the Sullivan County Clerk's website. Motion to approve by Commissioner Jones, second by Commissioner Horn. Any discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, without objection, when the board opens, please cast your votes on the minutes as printed. Has every member voted? Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk.
22 yes, 2 absent.
Having received the necessary majority of the votes cast, commission minutes are approved. Without objection, Madam Clerk, on approval of notaries.
Isaac V. Allman, Sarah D. Arguelles, Lauren Arzu, Krista D. Atwell, Gracie L. Beach, Jessica Blankenship, Wendy L. Bowery, Kimberly M. Bowman, Summer Dawn Brown, Sandra Lockett Bryant, Penny Greer Cameron, Leslie G. Carrier, Robin L. Carter, Michaela Crawford, Ginger L. Davis, Jacob Dennis, Tanya Ellsworth, Melissa Dawn Fields, Gary D. Freeman Jr., Andrew David Graham, Jacob A. Hagy, Sarah Ellen Hale, Jessica Leanne Hall, Jamie Lauren Johnson, Riley Kendall, Molly Keplinger, Nicole Leon, Bridget Yvonne McCoy, Christine McCray, Shanae Shanice Mullion, Megan Carey Monroe, Bailey Morgan, Christy Leanne Nixon, Linda Pace, Sandy C. Pack, Catherine R. Peak, Olivia Raines, Michael Wayne Rhodes, Austin Reicher, Bonnie Reiser Romancic, Madison C. Root, Jessica Schuer, Camerick Shelton, Brandy Schools Taylor, Howard Allen Spurgeon, Dania W. Strong, Stephanie M. Swift, Heather Sykes, Gladys Simons, Tina D. Taylor, Rebecca Ann Theall, Rochelle D. Trent, Susie Denise Vaughn, Valerie A. Warzewski, Kelly Elizabeth Weaver, Crystal G. Weaver.
You've heard the list of notaries. Any discussion on the list of notaries as presented?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cole.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Crawford. Any discussion on the notaries as presented? Without objection, when the board opens, please cast your vote on the approval of notaries. every member voted? Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk?
22 yes, 2 absent.
Having received the necessary majority of the votes cast, the notaries are approved. Without objection, next order is public comment on agenda-related items, and as we've been doing the last couple of months, at the end of the meeting, we'll have public comment on non-agenda-related items. And if you will, please state your name and your address for our electronic record, and you will be recognized for 3 minutes. I'd just like to ask you to keep your comments, public comments, not personal comments, nothing inflammatory, nothing insulting to anybody, but you can address any area of resolution that you wish to. And again, this is agenda-related public comment only, so I'm going to recognize first Ed Bush. I haven't started your clock yet, Mr. Bush. It's good to see you again, sir.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Ed Bush. I'm president or chairman of the Sullivan County Historical Preservation Association.
If you will, your name and address, sir, for the electronic
Ed Bush,
record.
3389 Highway 126 in Baltimore.
Thank you, sir.
I'm chairman of the Sullivan County Historical Preservation Association. I'm also chairman of the Sullivan County Historical Commission, working with Amber and the people that own historic property in Blumville and Pine Flats. And I want to thank you for, I guess, your wisdom or your thought process on developing the monies for tourism. I think it's going to really help out some of the things that the county's needed. I think it's going to be interesting working with NETA. We've approached them in the past, however, they really haven't had funds to help our organization because they were really limited in what they had. Matter of fact, I don't know if they've ever visited the Deary Inn or the Ralph Blizzard Museum, which is in the Anderson Townhouse. But we really appreciate your support on the structures. Sullivan County is really very unique in the buildings that they've got. Some of them go back to the mid-1700s. James King's Ironworks cabin, William Blount wrote a letter to the British that got him impeached from the Senate in 1797. A lot of people may not know that, but it's history. It was moved at a different time. But one of the things that we're needing, the buildings need some significant work. We've got excellent support from Cindy Stewart, and her staff is superb. They just don't have the time and the resources to do the work that needs to be done. Amber has gotten us some grants for the Anderson Townhouse, from an ADA bathroom, and she just got a 5% bid. The county's only responsible for 5%, which is phenomenal, to replace the 50-year-old shaped roof. I think it's going to be really an awesome improvement. Now, for those that don't know, you ever heard of TAMLA, Traditional Appalachian Music Heritage Association? Meets every Friday night, has for 20 years. Is developed by Ralph Blizzard, who was a internationally known longbow fiddler from Blumville. And we have a museum there for those that haven't been. Give me a call, check with Matthew, and I'll run right down and just give you that tour. But we have, I estimate, a minimum of $300,000 worth of work that needs to be done to the historic buildings, if not 400 if you include the air handling system in the Deary Inn. It had a very complex humidity control system that doesn't work, needs to be replaced. But if we're going to, we cannot get rotating programs from the Smithsonian or the museum. Am I out of time?
You can wrap it up.
Okay, I'll wrap it up. The bottom line is we need help. We need the buildings to be repaired. We walked the grounds a number of times with commissioners. They know what needs to be done, and we just need to be able to have the funds from this tax money to do what it was planned for, is for the historic buildings. So I appreciate it. We have the Festival of Trees. Please come and visit. If you haven't been to the inn, we'll have 35 trees. The Deer Inn is absolutely gorgeous. So that's an advertisement. And every Friday night, if you want to hear some good bluegrass and old-time music, come 6 to 10 p.m. every Friday night. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bush. There's nobody with a cane going to come and pull you off the mic. I'll just let you know when your three minutes is up. Next, Ann Fortner. Name and address. We can recognize you for 3 minutes.
I'm short. Ann Fortney, I'm officer with Sullivan County Sheriff's Office. I live at 154 West Winona Avenue in Kingsport. What I'd like to ask is mainly about the bridge and how the early retirement bridge is going to affect our health insurance. I am 61. I don't get my Medicare or my Medicaid until I'm 65. And I'm also not going to hit my 25 years for 7 more years. I've got 18 years in this department, loyal years in this department. And I'm not the only one. I'm saying me, but there's a lot of us, not only in the sheriff's office, but in the fire department, EMS, all the first responders that this is affecting. What I'd like to know is, are y'all going to be able to bridge somehow the health insurance so that those of us that hit 60, I'm 61, but those that's going to be hitting 60 at the mandatory age is going to have 3 to 5 years, depending on their age, without health insurance. And that's a big factor. That's why we work so hard to make a career of it, is so that we have our benefits and our health insurance. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, Victoria Hunt.
I have handouts again.
Do you have enough for everybody?
Of course, and even if I work. I'll take care of y'all.
If you will, your name, address, recognize you for 3 minutes.
Hang on, let everybody get theirs first. This is a read-along, and it's got pictures. Sometimes when you got something in your hand and it's visual, you can see it just a little bit better. My name is Victoria Mills Hunt. I live at 4257 Rockpole Road. Open government is characterized by transparency, collaboration, and participation. The planning department will tell you they have done this for the South Holston plan, but if we peel back the layers, we see this isn't the case. The planning department has a habit of not notifying the public in a timely manner of meetings. The first public engagement meeting, held November 30th of 2023 at East High School, was not published in any local paper as a public notice. I don't know if that's sunshine law or not. Y'all can hash that out. The second public engagement meeting, held June 27th, 2024, was published in the Kingsport Times-News as a public notice on June 26th, the day before. Further research shows that the planning committee final draft meeting that they had on August 20th was published as a public notice in the Kingsport Times-News on the 21st.
One second, are you speaking to a specific item on the agenda?
Yes, it is resolution 19 or 17.
Sorry to interrupt, go ahead.
Yes. The 21st, the day after the final draft meeting. Two side notes on this topic. First, if this is affecting the east end of the county, why place the public notices in the Kingsport Times News? Second, if the department really wanted public opinion, why were the two public meetings held at 4 p.m. when most people are still at work? 8,004 parcels, 31,000 acres. According to page 10 of the plan, that's how many citizens of the county is affected by this plan. Yet according to page 117, targeted letters were only sent to 55 parcel addresses. If the department wanted a real picture of the public's thoughts, why were they not sent to all parcels? Flyers for a recreational survey with a QR code were posted in various areas and businesses. We're not sure where exactly because information is not mentioned in the plan where they were placed. The department did not target the East Zone for this information, therefore the survey is too broad for anyone to make a comprehensive approach to the needs of our area. My son, stationed in Japan, could have taken this survey if he had known the website. According to one survey response, sports facilities were most popular for recreational needs. However, if we peel back that layer on the survey, lacrosse was actually the most popular need. Lacrosse isn't played on the east zone of the county, but Dobbins-Bennett has teams. Referendum 2023.3.12 asked for a use study that included traffic reports, infrastructure, zoning uses, water quality, and the growth of the east zone surrounding the river. You did not ask for a historical or archaeological resources study. You did not ask for a recreational study, and you did not ask for an overlay district. Neither did the citizens of our community, but that is what we got. Since August committee meeting, we have been told by the planning department and the planning committee that this plan was dead and not going anywhere. This document has been referred to by these two bodies as a plan and then a study or a guide. We've been told by the department and the committee that they are proud of this document, even though we continue to point out discrepancies and flawed information. We were told by these two bodies they wanted our input and communication with us. However, when we sent 9 pages of possible changes and never heard back from anyone. A dead document should...
Ma'am, you've gone over your 3 minutes. If you could wrap it up in a statement or two. I don't want to cut you off, but if you can just wrap it up in a statement or two, no more, please.
A dead document should not need a vote. However, that's what the planning committee did last Tuesday night.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I'm going to have to move on. Thank you for being here. Next, Melinda Morrell. Name and address. Recognize you for 3 minutes.
Hello, good evening. My name is Melinda Morrell. I live at 848 Paddle Creek Road. I do want to encourage you to pass Resolution 19. This recreational study has been ongoing for several months and was approved by the Planning Commission on Tuesday. For the Planning Commission request, a group of us, as you heard Ms. Mills indicate, provided 9 pages of edits on the document. This study explains that the survey data was a very critical component of the study. Yet, all of the survey results in the previous 2 versions that were posted to the public were wrong and are different from the version that is currently approved. These edits were only made after we pointed out many of the issues and provided documented evidence of these issues that needed to be updated. The problem that we have, or that I in particular have, is while the survey results were updated, many of the other edits that we requested were not included. And these to me seem to be very reasonable requests. And they seem to be reasonable requests because future planning commissions, we're told, are going to use this document or could have access to this document. And if so, then it seems reasonable to provide data so that future planning commissions have a clear understanding of what was collected and the number of the number of respondents that were that participated in this. So some examples of this include that one of the surveys only had about 0.2% of Sullivan County represented. And of those respondents, 9% did not even live in the county. In the second survey that was provided, 55, as you heard, pieces of information were sent out, but yet there's 8,004 parcels. That's less than 0.7% of impacted individuals. Our requests seem to be very reasonable. Produce those numbers, produce those stats, so it gives some context to the future, and those were not accepted. And for that reason alone, because this could be used by future planning commissions and they would not have the full context that maybe you're able to get today by me being here, I do ask you to pass Resolution 19. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Andrew Morrell. Name and address, I'll recognize you for 3 minutes. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Commissioners. Name's Andrew Morrell. My address is 855 Paddle Creek Road. I won't need my full 3 minutes. I urge you all to pass Resolution 19. You've heard from 2 members of the public so far about some problems with this study regarding the South Holston River. As you can imagine, bad facts make bad law, and there are some really bad facts associated with the study. And so, because of this, I'm very concerned about how this study is going to be used in the future when the context around its development has been forgotten. So, thank you for your time. I urge you to pass Resolution 19.
Thanks, sir. G. Hickman. Name and address, I recognize you for 3 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Jaquita Hickman. I live at 209 Timber Ridge Road, which is right beside of the South Fork Holston River. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for having us tonight yet again to explain some things that we are concerned about. Those of us that have been attending the planning commissions and the commissioners' meetings and the planning commission's meetings are very concerned about an overlay district on the South Fork Holston River. I too urge you to please pass this item number 19. Here are some of the concerns that us citizens that pay the taxes on the private property for this overlay district are concerned about. First of all, we would like to say an overlay district should be an area that is stated clearly to everyone involved. And I strongly feel that nearly 8,000 people that pay property taxes on that area are not very familiar with the statement of this overlay district and what the clear agenda is. However, that's not my only concern. My other concerns are, how will an overlay district affect the property taxes of the land, and how will it affect the value of our land? We farm. Most people on that river that have private property farm. We have large farms. And what I am concerned about is the restrictions that will be given to our ancestors. Because I want my children and my grandchildren to be able to have our legacy so that they can have a future in Sullivan County as well. I'll cut this short. Why would we vote in an overlay when the current zoning laws are doing the job that an overlay district is going to be requesting? There's no public water, there's no public sewer along the South Fork Holston River. We're not going to have hotels, we're not going to have large lodges, we're not going to have these things in that area. I don't think that this is something that needs to be passed by our commissioners. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Is there anyone that wishes to address an agenda-related item that did not get the opportunity to sign the public comment sheet? I'll give you that chance right now. Seeing none, without objection, agenda-related public comment is closed. That brings us to our regular calendar. We'll begin with item number 1. Is there anyone that wishes to take a certain item out of order, though? I like to ask that. Seeing none, without objection, I recognize Commissioner Stidham on item number 1.
Mr. Chairman, I think we need to do consent.
Oh, yes, we do. You are 100% correct. Spread on the member's desk. Have a consent calendar. Any member wish to object to any items remaining on the consent calendar? The consent calendar requires unanimous consent that you can remove any item you wish. Thanks for pointing that out, Gary. I was in four-wheel drive there.
Would you state those resolutions just to make sure we got them all marked?
You have those, Madam Clerk. There are items 4, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, and 17.
Thank you, sir.
Any member wish to bump one off the consent calendar? Without objection, when the board opens, please cast your vote on the consent calendar. It requires 100% approval. Has every member voted? Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk.
22 yes, 2 absent.
Having received unanimous consent, the consent calendar is approved. That takes us to our regular order of business. Recognize Commissioner Stidham on item number 1.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll be withdrawing this resolution tonight.
Commissioner Stidham moves to withdraw item number 1. Without objection, recognize Commissioner Iverson on item number 2.
Thank you, Chairman. Some of you were here on the work session. I won't spend a lot of time on it, but I do want to give you a little bit of background on this. This is the bridge program that was spoken about earlier. I'm going to give some data. The Sheriff's going to be able to speak a little bit of it. My intent is to, I don't want to say the word of first reading, because as soon as we do that, we have to stop talking about it, so I don't do that yet, but that will be coming a little bit later on in the conversation. So to say what we're looking at is this, the bridge program is something that all the federal programs have in law enforcement, air traffic. I'm actually retired on a bridge program. It allows you to have, you pick up your Social Security the day you retire at age 55, and it goes to 62 until you're eligible for Social Security. So that's what attracted me to it when I heard about it in Nashville whenever we were there for our TCCA meeting. So the TCCA meeting was talking about, it's called an Enhanced Public Safety TCRS Benefit Bridge Plan. It is only for fire departments, correctional officers, and correction officers and police officers. We looked into it for EMS and EMA. The current one of this is not, they're not eligible for it, but there are other options, and we're looking at those in the future. But for this, is just for those 3 groups. So when I found out about it, it was attractive to me. I like the idea because I'm living it. I understand exactly what it is because I do it. I took that and went to the sheriff's office to talk to the sheriff and say, is this something you guys were interested in? And he said, yes, absolutely. So the next step, I went to Mayor Bailey's office and said, hey, can we afford this? And we had a meeting there with some of his office staff, and Justin Ball came up from TCRS. Had conversations, everything was going relatively smoothly. After that, we basically just continued talking to make sure everything is good. This all started back in May of this past year, so it's been going on for 6 months now. So, since the work session, a couple of questions came up, and great questions. Now, I'm happy for them because they were great questions. And one of the things was, is there anyone that will not be able to hit their 25 years and not be able to retire with their department? And you heard from one of them. There are 6. Of the 6 people, 4 of those were retirees from other departments or other jobs, came in to do extra work here at the sheriff's office. There are 2 that will not be able to retire by age 60, and that's going to be an issue with them, but the sheriff says he understands that, and I think he'll work that out. There are other jobs inside the sheriff's office that do not require the mandatory retirement of age 60. There is 1 SRO and 1 court appointment, but that's going to be something the sheriff's hopefully going to work with. Beyond that, the question was, how many people are going to be jumping out on this early retirement? That's hard to know. But there are 35 people in the sheriff's office. Of the 335 people that are affected, there's 35 that were born before 1970. So that means in the next 6 years, take out the 6 from before, there are 29 people that will be retiring, aging out, and they are all going to be eligible for the full retirement and the benefits that we're talking about. Insurance increase. That was a good question, and we looked at that as well. It's the same 29 people in the next 6 years. If you look at that over the next 6 years, it's basically 5 people a year. Hopefully it won't be a tremendous burden on the county because it's not going to be a huge number of people, but it will increase. The other question that we had actually talked about, because one of the selling points was the sheriff said, hey, this is such a great program, and all the people were excited about it, that how about we do a half and half, county pay half, employees pay half. We found out that that may not be an accurate eligible thing. So we're checking on that a little bit more, but the option that they said was, how about in the next employee pay raise, you take out their 1.75 instead of them getting let's just say it's a 4% raise or whatever it might be, 5%. You take 1.7 of that away to go to this benefit, and they get the remainder of their pay raise. It'll be a one-time deal, and actually that was rolled that the employees would actually be helping with that. Meetings, they said, how about some meetings for the employees? I've been talking with Justin today and Sheriff Cassidy today. Meetings are starting Tuesday. So we're gonna have some meetings on Tuesday and Wednesday this coming week. He's coming up from Nashville to talk to the employees to make sure everybody understands it. So I think that was a great thing. Before I keep going a little bit, I'd like to invite the sheriff up if he's still close. Hey, Sheriff, words in somebody's mouth, but I appreciate your input.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Commission. Yeah, just like Mark said, I will correct him. He did come to my office and said, what do you think about this? I first checked with all my captains, had them check with lieutenants and sergeants within the entire agency. Okay, so, and I realized we do have a deputy that's dedicated, does a great job. As you all know, my heart is for these employees. I'm not here to kick them out, but this is a young man's game. And I'm starting to, get to the point where I'm like, I never want to say the word retire, but this job is very demanding, very stressful, away from your family a whole lot more than you need to be. And, I do realize there, like me and Mark was talking about, there are about 4 total that would be affected with the insurance part. But on the other hand, don't ever get into law enforcement just for the benefits, because this job is very stressful, very tiring. And so the other, 99.8% of my employees were just all about it. So then I'll go to the Sheriff's Association. I talked to all the sheriffs that have adopted this program in the bridge with their agencies. Love it. Talked to the Chiefs Association. Love it. So, I mean, really the people that aren't going to be affected, it's going to be a life changer for them. 55, 25, 75% of your salary. You can go and do something else, maybe enjoy life. But like I say, my sole intent ever since I've been elected sheriff, and ever since I was captain, lieutenant, sergeant, is for the success of my people. I would never do something that I think would hurt them. But some employees look down a paper towel tube. I have to look at 335 people sometimes, so, you know, that's where I did a lot of research, did a lot of talking, and that's where I'm at. So if anybody's got any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
You've heard the explanation on the resolution. Sheriff Cassidy, anyone seek recognition for questions, comments on the resolution?
I've also got Sergeant Phil White, which he's going to be retiring here soon. If he'd like to speak on the benefits he's going to receive. Is that okay, Chair?
Absolutely, sir.
Thank you, John.
Officer White.
How are y'all doing this afternoon? I know y'all get to see me a lot. Many of us have been with the commission and have seen me here for many years. I'm just like the sheriff has talked about. I'm one of the officers that it will affect, and it'll be a plus. I've been here. I graduated in Sullivan County from Central. I didn't want to leave the area. I stuck around. What he was talking about when the prison system went in, that was one of the things they offered. It was very tempting to leave this agency to go to that, but I didn't. I stayed here for my family, my friends, everybody else is here. So it will be a big boost to me. I've been here, it'll be almost 29 years. Like he said, I'm 60 years old now. This is a young man's game. It's not for me. But, however, I still do my job on a daily basis the best I can. And I appreciate y'all's consideration. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Yeah, and just to sort of echo what he was just talking about, the attraction of employees too. You know, we're doing a great job. Matter of fact, across the state of Tennessee, I think we're the only corrections division full right now. So doing a great job attracting those employees, but man, you know, when we got to fill in this new jail too, you know, you put that, hey, you got a bridge with our TCRS as well as our salaries that you all helped me out with. So like I say, anytime I've stood before you, it's for the benefit and betterment of the sheriff's office. It doesn't help me, it doesn't affect me. So that's about all I have to say.
The floor is open for discussion. I recognize Commissioner Carr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just like to ask the sponsor if you would want to consider running this on waiver of rules tonight. I think we can get it passed.
Recognize the sponsor.
The answer is I would love to. And the reason I say I'd love to is because I think it's something that we need to get going and need to get on board with. The only problem I have is that there are a couple of unknowns, and I'm afraid that those unknowns would pull too many away from us tonight. So I mean, I think that people are kind of curious about some of the answers. I feel very confident and extremely confident that the sheriff has a plan to take care of this. I think that it's going to impact about 4 people, and I think that he's a man of his word, and I know that he'll take care of this for people, and I think that whatever we can do, we'll do. If the body wants to run it, let's run it.
You gonna take care of it? Oh, of course. You all know me enough. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Chair. Appreciate it.
I will say a couple last minute things on it. So when I was hired in the FAA, there was a study, FAA had a study called the Civil Aviation Medical Institute. And they did a study and they said at age 56, your reaction time starts to go down. That's why the retirement is there. So this is a good reason for us to do that, and I'll stop talking and I'll say this.
Commissioner Ireson request waiver of rules on item number 2, requiring 16 votes for passage. Without objection, when the board opens, please cast your vote on item number 2. Again, requires 16 votes for passage. Waiver of rules. Has every member voted? Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk?
22 yes, 2 absent.
Having received the necessary majority of the votes cast, item number 2 is adopted. Without objection, recognize Commissioner Ireson on item number 3.
Thank you again, Chairman. Item number 3 is another thing that's really near and dear to my heart, but I'll talk about that a little bit with the Tri-City Airport. I'm on their board now. Mayor and I are both on that. And the airport has an opportunity. The airline reached out to the airport, and what it's going to be is, we call them the top 30 airports, the 30 busiest airports in the nation. We currently have access to 3 of those, being Dallas and Atlanta and Charlotte. I can't give some of the specifics, I'd love to, but I can't because it's under confidentiality. But an airline has reached out to us to add service from one cold area airport to a warm area airport. That's the best I can tell you. But they are from top 30 airports, so it'll give us access to 5 airports now that we only have 3. That access will help everyone that flies in and out of Tri-City because more competition will lower rates. It's just the way that it works. The company, a standard thing with the companies now, because the competition is so high in aircraft and airlines are so expensive to do, they have reached out and requested a revenue guarantee. Revenue guarantee sounds huge, but I'll explain a little bit more. It's a 2-year revenue guarantee, a grand total of $2 million. The $2 million, if you do the math, comes out to about $84,000 a month. We're one of the partners of the airport. There's 7, 8 actual owners of the airport. We're one of those. What this resolution does is says that up to $10,000 a month of our hotel motel money will go towards that airline's revenue guarantee. The airline revenue guarantee is going to be money from all 3 airports, not just one, so we're not having to put all that much money into it. And as the time starts, as they get more people on planes, that number will continue to go down. If we do this, I'm asking today a waiver of rules, and if we do this, it has to be done so that December 4th, they can get this airline and give them their guarantee so they can come forward. We will hopefully be the first one to actually hit this if we're able to get it passed tonight. And Kingsport Group, the Bristol Group, and everyone else has been talking about this, and I'm sure they're all going to pony up and do the same thing because it's a wonderful opportunity. So I'm sure there's more to be said, but I'm not going to do that till I ask some questions. So if anybody has any questions, I'd gladly answer.
You've heard the explanation on item number 3. The floor is open for discussion. Recognize Commissioner Vanover on item number 3.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to express my support for this resolution. Mark's worked very hard on it. We've got a great little airport there at Tri-Cities, but the only problem is the rates are high. And if it's just one person flying out of it, it's not so bad. If you try to take your whole family on a flight, that's thousands of dollars that you could save by driving to Knoxville or Asheville. And anything we can do to get our rates down, of course, more competition, more flights, more destinations, like Mark said, creates competition, and that's going to bring the price down. So, and I think it would even add to our tourism. So when those destinations are flying back into Tri-Cities, they might want to stay a while and can spend some money. So I think this is a great resolution. I urge everyone to support it. Thank you.
Commissioner Cross.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I understand you can't talk a lot about all that stuff, but the one warm weather, the one cold weather, are those direct flights from
Yes.
Tri-Cities to there?
Yes,
nonstop?
it's basically a 3-legged stool. They'll depart one airport, stop here, fill up with however many extra seats they have, and go to the next. So it'll be back and forth each time.
And if you were leaving here, you could fly direct to both destinations, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
You can't give us an area code, right?
If we win next month, yes.
How about time zone? Commissioner Stidham.
Like the others, I do support this. The only question I have is, this money for the hotel motel, is this coming off the top of that? Or is this coming out of our portion of that? I would prefer it come off the top before it's divided. That would be more fair, to Sullivan County residents on that side of it. That's the question I have.
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't address it because mine's coming first. What you're talking about is not even a thing yet. So I'm hoping to get this money before we ever do anything else. But this doesn't start if we win, if we're selected. The service will start in May. The first payment, if it even happens, will be June. So this isn't anything about existing money. It isn't anything about anything at all. It'll be future money starting in June. So if it's something that we pass now, then it's something we'll probably need to address here in a few minutes and take care of that. And hopefully we can get some support.
Commissioner Means.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to
add a little bit of a story. I think most of you all know my dad had metastatic prostate cancer, and so unbeknownst to could not get any help through Ballad, and so we went through a long process over a couple of years, and he finally was able to get to the Mayo Clinic. It's just little things like this you don't think about till you're in it, and so they were having to get special flights out of other areas to get up to the Mayo Clinic, and so if this could potentially help even cancer patients, I think that's going to be huge for our area too. So just wanted to kind of throw that out there for the benefits of something like this. And so thank you.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes, having served on that board, this is just the nature of the beast today, and we may come back again in order. This is how the airports, by federal law, cannot spend any of their revenue for marketing. If they do, it puts in jeopardy everything else they've ever done in the past. They would have to pay back all the federal money. It's a huge risk they have. Through this is how the communities today are going to be, and it's happening in airports across the country, that communities, businesses are stepping up and creating a marketing plan for the airports as far as the guarantees for 2 years of the flights. Used to, when companies came in, they'd eat the loss for a couple of years, hoping in 2 years they could start making a profit. Well, that ain't the way it is today. And what we're having to do is guarantee for 2 years, and we hope in a year they'll have full seats and be profitable on these lines. I fully support it. I like your Commissioner Stidham. I like your idea that whatever this amount is that we're committing, I think it's $240,000. Take that off the top. Thank you.
Commissioner Crawford.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think anytime we can open up our community to outsiders is a big advantage. But let's remember, we've got a big advantage right now with the casino where it's at. I think the more people we can bring in, it's going to add to Sullivan County as well to the Bristol side as well.
Thank you, Commissioner Crawford. Commissioner Iverson, your final word on the resolution, sir.
I hope we can support this, and I'm asking for waiver of rules.
Sponsor moves waiver of rules on item number 3. Any further discussion on item number 3? Without objection.
Christian. Can we amend that with the suggestion of Mr. Stidham that we take that off the top of the current balance?
Are you wishing to offer that as an amendment, Commissioner Stidham, or is that even
I think with
doable?
his explanation of the, how the funding is gonna go, that would be irrelevant this year. That would be on next year when we come back to look at that, hotel motel tax.
Thanks, sir.
Okay. Just make sure.
Commissioner Cross.
I agree with that assessment, but I was gonna say, we might have further discussion, like you said, when we get to his, about percentages and how those percentages might come out when we get there. I think that would be a better discussion to have.
Without objection, sponsor moves item number 3 on waiver of rules requiring 16 votes for passage. When the board opens, please cast your vote on item number 3. Requires 16 votes for passage. Waiver of rules. Has every member voted? Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk.
22 yes, 2 absent.
Having received the necessary majority of the votes cast, item number 3 is adopted. Item 4 is consumed. Without objection, recognize Commissioner King on item number 5.
Thank you, Chairman. Number
5 is a resolution appropriating funds for Sullivan County Industrial Park Development Board to replace the entrance sign to the Tri-County Industrial Park. The sign is 40 years old. I think it's older than that, but we're not going to argue with it. But anyway, it's in bad repair, and it needs to be replaced. This is going into the industrial park. There's a lot of industry in that park, a lot of jobs, and it's it's a sign that shows what Sullivan County is about, and where people work, and there's a lot of money comes out of that park. So this is going to be funded through the sub fund, and it was a fund that was set about for maintenance efforts and future development of the Tri-County Industrial Park. There's already funds set aside for this, but it's, we're going to have to go through the engineering, and it's going to have to be bid out and all that. So that is about donating some. The money should be there time we get ready to build the sign. So with that, I hope everybody can vote on this and waiver it.
You've heard the explanation on item number 5. Sponsor moves waiver of rules on item number 5. The floor is open for discussion. Anyone seek recognition? Seeing none, when the board opens, please cast your vote on item number 5. Sponsor moves waiver of rules requiring 16 votes for passage. Has every member voted? Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk.
22 yes, 2 absent.
Having received the necessary majority of the votes cast, item number 5 is adopted. Items 6 and 7 were on the consent calendar. Without objection, recognize Commissioner Slagle on item number 8.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This resolution is authorizing distribution of the hotel motel tax funds for destination marketing and development. We've had a lot of partnership here from both City of Bristol, City of Kingsport. I'm happy to see Bluff City here tonight, as was mentioned earlier. And this resolution does a great deal for the region. We created this over a year ago, Commissioner Vanover. It was established, but we didn't really have a plan. This plan separates the money 50% as the cities have requested and the tourism partners have requested, 50% to NETA. Distribution occurring 45 days at the end of each calendar quarter year, each year. So as of October 31st, the amount's $962,852.55. Given the collection we'll have for the rest of the year, we're probably looking at an estimated $1.2 million, I would assume. To some of the comments made previously on the casino, we're going to see a lot more revenue come into this fund from the cities. And as we mentioned kind of last week in work session, we beat the city to the trough here, in fairness. And we've got cities and partners to work with here, and I think regionally, allowing Northeast Tennessee Tourism Association to do what they're experts at and partner with our tourism department. Because they're in alignment on so many things already. The work that Mr. Johnson's done is fantastic so far, and I think he has a plan to work with them to utilize this money to benefit Sullivan County and surrounding areas. And so I ask for your support tonight. I'll take questions.
You've heard the explanation on item number 8. The floor is open for discussion. Recognize Commissioner Glover.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Last Thursday night at the work session, I asked Commissioner Slagle if he would accept an amendment to his resolution, and I'm going to offer that same amendment again tonight if he would would consider it, and the Sullivan County Board of Commissioners wishes to better develop and define the open nature of this undesignated balance from hotel motel collections in Resolution 2024, dated November 21st, 2024, establishing an appropriation of 50% of the collections shall go to NETA, with the remaining proceeds identified at $481,426.27, which he did say that would change. Motel tax collections to date shall go to the Sullivan County Office of Director of Tourism. This formula shall also be assigned going forward annually to appropriate 50% of the hotel motel tax collections, less the clerk's 5% commission, to NETA or destination per Bristol and Kingsport, with the remaining 50% of the collections going to the Sullivan County Office of Director of Tourism. This appropriation shall be identified in the annual Sullivan County Finance Department control account for hotel motel tax collections, and anything approved from that money in the original resolution Mr. Vano did was go before the budget committee with the recommendations coming to the full commission for vote on and acceptance of the expenditures of that money. So I'm offering that amendment to Commissioner Slagle again, and to make sure that the Office of Tourism gets their money, and Mr. Johnson can move some things forward. I know we need some computer work, he needs some things done, and I think we need to help him, but I think this is an example of Bristol and Kingsport working with Sullivan County to make things better for all of us in the future with tourism, and I think that's the future for us, getting jobs, getting future folks looking at our area coming here, and that's the way to market the tool to get it done. So, Commissioner Slagle, if you would accept my amendment to your resolution, I would be happy to move forward.
Commissioner Glover offers an amendment to item number 8. Recognize Commissioner Slagle.
Need a second? Yep.
You wish
Yeah,
to accept it?
just to thank you, Commissioner Glover, for offering that, and I think, for clarity, I think that's gonna end up giving Sullivan County Tourism between $600,000 and $700,000 to work with, which is, Mr. Bush, I wanna thank you for being here and speaking. I think that's gonna provide significantly more funds than we've had previously to help with some of the awesome historic buildings we have here in the county. We absolutely need to take care of. I think it does a fantastic job separating the funds in an even way. So, Mr. Glover, I accept your amendment.
Commissioner Glover, do you have a copy we could give the clerk for her records?
Yes, I do, but I want to make a suggestion in this. Back at the time we were working on that original resolution, the mayor of Bluff City came forward and declined to accept any of this hotel motel tax money. I think we should look at maybe giving Bluff City back some of the money that they had collected through this procedure, if no one has a problem with that.
Commissioner Slagle.
I'll accept the original amendment, but not that one at this time. I do think we do need to figure out something for Bluff City, but I think we need to do it in a separate piece of resolution here.
We can do it in the future.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Commissioner Slagle, you accept the original amendment as presented? And you have your copy there, Madam Clerk. Recognize Commissioner Crosswhite on item number 8.
Thank you, Chairman. I think I said everything last Thursday I was going to say, but I have a few more things. As you heard Mr. Bush say, our historical buildings here, most of the money that is going to be going into archives and tourism to be spent are going to be spent on those buildings. They're falling down. The budget committee, we voted to bring to you all $100,000, and that was just phase 1. We estimate there's going to be $200,000 to $300,000 to keep these structures renovated. We need to take care of them. We have something in Sullivan County that the rest of the state doesn't have, so we need to take care of them. I'd like to. I know that Matthew, being the tourism director, he will work with Bristol and Kingsport. I think they all can work together. But right now, Matthew, if he wants to spend some money, he has to come to the budget committee, and then we bring it to you all. I don't think that's fair for him to do it when we just hand over the money to NETA, I know they have to answer to somebody, but it's not, I don't think it's gonna be us. And I too would like to do an amendment that, the amount of tourism money that we receive, we give the same amount that Kingsport and Bristol gives NETA. Yeah, which would be about, I think they get 12,000 each. Would you accept that?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner King, on order. Commissioner King, did the budget committee vote on that last night?
Yes.
Yes,
That's Commissioner King.
yeah.
If you remember, we never did take a vote on that. It was a recommendation. It never was a full vote.
That's true, it was a recommendation.
Right.
We voted to recommend, yes.
Yes, yes.
So that hadn't been brought before the commission.
It hadn't been brought before.
I hope this works out. Is this gonna be just on a yearly basis, or?
I think, as we talked at work session, and great conversation, I want to thank Commissioner Vanover for helping me out in the budget committee last night with some of the questions, discussion. I've got calls and emails from most everybody in here, and it's been great having the engagement of everybody here and the participation on this. This obviously means a lot to Sullivan County and the region. I think the passion for it is good. I appreciate Ms. Crosswhite's comments. Again, I appreciate Mr. Bush's comments. I think, having a previous budget of around $20,000 and giving Sullivan County 25 times more than they've ever had. Matthew Johnson, I think, is going to do a fantastic job with this. And I know he's already working with Alicia, and I think we're going to be able to take care of some of those buildings and do a whole lot more than that. And I respect the citizens of Longville, and I respect you, Ms. Crosswhite. And I really believe that this money is going to do great things for the region in general, and going to give our Tourism and Archives Department a lot of room to make those renovations and do a whole lot of other things that we need to do for the county. Thank you.
I hope that, I hope,
I asked if you was finished, you said yes.
I'm sorry. I feel like we will work together with NETA, and I hope they do help Bluntville, because we do all of Sullivan County, but we do offer a lot here in Sullivan County. We just never have been promoted enough, so, because we haven't had the money or the personnel. So I wish them luck, and whatever will be, will be. So thank you all.
Commissioner Jones and Commissioner Cross.
Thank you, Chairman. I wish all of you could have been last night to the Budget Committee. We had Alicia and representatives from Kingsport and Bristol there. I don't know if everybody knows that Alicia's NETA is moving to Tri-City Airport from Johnson City. They'll be located in the airport. And she gave us a guarantee last night that 100% of this money will be spent in Sullivan County. We gave her some things that we felt like needed to be promoted. Observation Knot Park, the best trout fishing stream in the southeast, the historical district here in Bluntville. Now that we have the Veterans Memorial, there was a whole list of items that were discussed that I think we're going to be seeing some things, and I would hope that we start seeing some things pretty soon, sooner than later. But I was very impressed with her answers last night at the Budget Committee, and I'll support this the way it is right now. And I agree we do need to look at what's being collected out of Bluff City, that we put that money back to help them with their tourism over there. So anyway, thank you very much. And for those that were there last night, you heard some good answers, positive. I feel very comfortable with this right now. Thank you, Matt.
Commissioner Cross.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm full support of this resolution, full support of the amendment. However, I do feel we need to address what we just passed a few moments ago. And I'm not offering any amendments, just ideas, because I know it is not coming due to the future. But if this continues on into the future, 4 times per year after initial distribution, this doesn't change any of the numbers in this resolution, but how we do deal with Mr. Iverson's resolution, a possibility, we keep talking about, somebody mentioned off the top, how we're gonna deal with this, is it our side, another side? It says here, in the resolution, 962, less the clerk's 5%. Will we have a chance in the future to come back and revisit this, or will it be set that it is 50-50? In other words, could we later say less the amount due to this airline, and then 50-50 after that? Could we do that in the future, or should we do that tonight?
Thank you, Commissioner Cross. Thank you, Commissioner Jones, for your comments and feedback. I think we can address it in the future, and I think, as we talked before, this money was as of October 31st, and Commissioner Crawford brought up, the casino, and there's going to be so much more tourism-related activities in the region, and Sullivan County's going to benefit from that. And so I think the dollars we're looking at here are lower than what we'll actually have to look at when Commissioner Iverson's resolution comes around in May, June timeframe. I think we'll have the funds to be able to access that. And I did not know that NETA was relocating to the airport. I think that's a huge deal. And so I think that runs in tandem with kind of your suggestion here, that I think we'll get a lot of partnership from NETA on that. So yeah, I would agree that in the future we'll be able to allocate those funds.
That's fine with me, just I wanted to address it.
Thank you,
We
sir.
had it on the table.
Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Iverson.
I just want to say, thanks, Commissioner Cross, for bringing that up, and I think it is a timeliness issue. I think it's one of those things that right now, we've said we want to do this, but we haven't approved yet. So let's wait to see if it actually happens, and then yes, we'll address it at that point. I think it's a pretty easy amendment, like you're saying, just saying, come off the top and then split it after that. The one thing I will say is, last night's meeting, it was kind of exciting to see how Kingsport, Bristol, and NETA were actually sitting there talking and going back and forth on each other. And it let me realize more about how, regionalism is a lot of time people look at it as a bad thing, but as far as marketing and tourism, regionalism is a big thing. It's all it is. Because if you bring somebody here, then they're going to be spending more money in Sullivan County. The thing that was kind of interesting to me last night was Chris Erkey was talking about the Portuguese water dog event he had at Pomno. And then they started talking about, yeah, Visit Kingsport got them here. They stayed, at the Marriott there, I believe it's where. So it was interesting to see how he had recruited a group to come here and then found a location somewhere else to have the dog event, and they worked together in conjunction with that. And I think they'll all work with the Bluff City as well. We're not giving any money to anybody specific as far as Kingsport, Bristol, or Bluff City at all. It's doing that, and it was very good last night. And I wish everybody could have seen that last night because it was very good.
Commissioner Vanover.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to say that if anyone's worried about the accountability from NETA, this is not a long-term contract. This is flexible and it can be changed anytime we want to change it. So I know Alicia will give us regular updates about how the money is being spent and how it's growing and the way things are being done. So there's accountability in that, we can change this as we need to change it. We can change percentages, we can change how things are done at our discretion. So there's no worry about accountability for the money going to NETA. So good resolution. I hope everyone can support it.
Commissioner Stidham.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I support this. I believe in regionalism. That's one thing, but it does bring up a question with the term regionalism. Okay? We passed a resolution in here, Mr. Glover did, that prevented us going into any regionalism deals a year or so ago. So the question comes, I guess, Mr. Street, you'll have to pull that resolution up and look at it. If we need to take a recess to find out if we need to go back and pull that resolution and kill it to allow this to happen. I support this. This needs to happen. But are we going against something we've already passed?
I recognize Attorney Street.
My thought would be, I'm glad you mentioned that so we are aware of it, but my thought would be that the very last be it therefore resolved covers matters like that. All resolutions in conflict herewith be in the same rescinded insofar. So I would think that that takes care of it. But it's very good that you mentioned that because it makes us aware of what we are rescinding. I don't think that by voting on this that we would avoid the previous resolution, but as far as the two conflict, we would void the previous resolution.
Thank you.
Commissioner Harvey.
Thank you, Chairman. I just want to reiterate, I think I've said this before, appreciate very much the leadership in the city of Kingsport, city of Bristol. I think this is just a great example of normally where we see a lot of competition between the cities and the counties. And this is just a great example of how the cities and the counties have come together for the good of all Sullivan County. So thank you for what you've done. We appreciate it.
Commissioner Glover.
Commissioner Stedham, that resolution that we did has nothing to do with that. Total site separate.
But the term regionalism was used in there.
It's totally different. It's totally different group. Totally different group. And this money here is created through hotel motel tax. The other money in the other land was created through taxpayers' money, correct?
Well, I understand that, but when you say regionalism,
I didn't
we're
say
against
regionalism.
regionalism.
You did.
If you need to be recognized, press your button, I will. Commissioner Jones.
I think, Mr. Stidham, in response to that, when it made me be favorable to the resolution when I was assured last night that 100% of this money, because my question was, are we going to be supporting regionalism tourism? No, we're supporting Sullivan County tourism. That's what this is speaking to. And when she said 100% of this will be spent to promote Sullivan County. Other areas may benefit from that, but that's not what we were assured last night. So I think the big regionalism debate that went on back some months ago was not addressed with this. Thank you.
Commissioner King.
Thank you. As everybody has talked about tonight, we had a good meeting last night. There was a lot of stuff that was brought out. A lot of answers that I had that, I didn't know which way I was going on this, but there was a lot of stuff that was answered, and we got some good answers, and it was positive for Sullivan County, I think. According to the three people that were sitting at the head of the table, they said that we was going to spend this money in Sullivan County. And there again, we didn't have to go way off from here to get somebody to come in and run one of our organizations here that we're talking about. We just went up to Bluff City and found a person who can do the work, and she's good at it. And Alicia Phelps, hometown girl from Bluff City, she has stepped up and has done a great job, and I want to commend her for what she does. One other thing, as far as Bluff City, and that's my district, and Commissioner Glover, we just need to, we're going to fight for Bluff City to get something out of this. I don't know exactly what, but we're going to get something out of it for Bluff City, because they deserve it. So anyway, we had some good discussion last night, and I wish everybody would have been here or been there last night, because it was good, and we got a lot of good information. So thank you.
Attorney Street. I was just going to say, it sounds like a few commissioners are basing their vote on statements that this money is going to be spent in Sullivan County. So I would suggest that you amend the resolution to make that part of the resolution, just to make it clear. Sounds like that's important.
Recognize the sponsor.
I'm not sure that that's the county attorney's purview. So no, I will not make that amendment.
Commissioner Iverson.
Just want to make sure that everybody understands, Commissioner Jones said it 2 times, but the first time somebody may have misunderstood it, but it's not spending the money in Sullivan County. It's spending the money to market Sullivan County. So, I mean, a lot of this money, they're talking about geofencing, which might happen at a hub airport somewhere. So there's a lot of things they're doing, but it's all to support and market Sullivan County. So that's, yeah, just want to make sure everybody understood, it's not in Sullivan, it's to help Sullivan.
It's for Sullivan.
For Sullivan County, yes, sir.
Recognize the sponsor, final word on the resolution.
Yeah, again, just want to thank everybody for your comments, feedback. I want to thank again the city of Kingsport, city of Bristol, Visit Kingsport, for Bristol, and Alicia and team at NETA. And I move for waiver of rules.
Sponsor moves waiver of rules on item number 8. Without objection. When the board opens, please cast your vote on item number 8, requiring 16 votes for passage. Has every member voted? Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk.
19 yes, 3 no, 2 absent.
Having received the necessary majority of the votes cast, item number 8 is adopted. Without objection, I'm seeing some restless faces. Would anybody be opposed to taking a 10-minute break? Without objection, stand in recess for 10 minutes.
I got drug in. I'm well. Thursday night. Good. Look at you over there. Good, man. I'm not sure. When I was sitting there, several of them,
Daniel? You're missing nobody Well, we had to do that. Oh, another copy. As hard as you must be doing something wrong.
Hey, girl.
I do want the answer, but any resolution has a good question.
Ready for Christmas.
But I was going to bring up that's why I asked that. You're taking over. We're representing all of us. You're in city there. That money's. Yeah, they make you sound good. Hey, Mark, you guys get rolling on that? We got enough money here. You know, last night we were sitting there, they were up there, they weren't working, they're doing it back. And he did a random, everybody was there now. And they're learning people, none of them were from. They sit back and start saying But one of the guys said, I've never worked so hard in my business, but you know the one thing was, a lot of these guys have never had community in their life. And they went over there and were working, and all of a sudden they got Good job. We haven't had one of those budgets. We just
Oh, good idea.
doesn't go there. We will. We need to do February, we don't deal with anything like that. These people are they need to hear something. Just put it in there.
County Commission be back in session.
Back on our regular calendar, without objection, recognize Commissioner Iverson on item number 9.
Thank you, Chairman. Item number 9 comes over, the General Assembly last year passed a bill that basically sits back and says that, in their terms to me was, this is a carrot before the club. But trying to get more participation of people going to the training and all the different things we have to do. The TCA 5-5-113, it allows the county to actually do a supplemental training for the commissioners. And I'm just going to put this on first reading.
Sponsor moves first reading on item number 9. Without objection, recognize Commissioner Crosswhite on item number 13.
Thank you, Chairman. This resolution is authorizing additional matching funds for the awarded 2018 multi-access grant from the Tennessee Department of Transportation to Sullivan County. The project is known as Phase 1 of the Better-Bluntville connecting the county seat, a plan for pedestrian cross access, and safety in historical Bluntville and it's Millennium. TDOT has agreed to fund the cost of the $435,543 with the state doing a 97% match of $413,765.85, and the county's match is 5%, which is $21,777.15. And we voted on this early to accept this, so it's just now time to get this going.
You've heard the explanation on item number 13. Any discussion on item number 13? The floor is open for discussion.
I'd like this on waiver of rules, please.
Sponsor moves waiver of rules on item number 13, requiring 16 votes for passage. Without objection, when the board opens, please cast your vote on item number 13. It ran on waiver of rules requiring 16 votes for passage. Has every member voted?
I'll change my vote. I want to change mine too. I ain't gonna vote.
Has every member voted? Any member wish to change their vote? I don't have anything in our rule book about harassment, so I'm not going to look at people. That's subjective, especially with this group. Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk.
20 yes, 4 absent.
Having received the necessary majority of the votes cast, item number 13 is adopted. Without objection, recognize Commissioner Jones on item number 14.
This will be on first reading.
Sponsor moves first reading on item number 14. Next order is item number 18, sponsored by Commissioner Means.
Okay, yes, this is just a resolution to recommend adoption of zoning text amendment to add personal self-contained recreational vehicle as an alternative temporary dwelling unit in cases of special hardship or during construction of a permanent dwelling for up to 6 months in any agricultural or residential district in conjunction with active construction and an approved building permit. And then down at the bottom, it gives you what the change is going to be. So basically, what this came from was had someone in who had bought some property and renovating a house, and they were living in a camper on their house, on their property, and trying to make it better. And it's looking fantastic. And but we have no policies at all that they're not allowed to have any campers on their own property, living in their own property, not even for something like this. So this was just an opportunity for us to change that amendment text to just give it a little bit more, be a little bit more gracious here in Sullivan County. So I appreciate your support on this.
You've heard the explanation on item number 18. The floor is open for discussion on item number 18. Bring that to Commissioner Jones.
Commissioner Means, will this not be in the planning and zoning portion of the work session presented by, as a, for us to vote on at that time in December? As an amendment to the planning and zoning, that's where it properly comes.
Yeah, it typically goes through those channels, but it did pass this past week at the Bristol planning. I just had a family kind of hinging on what we were doing, and so you know how things, and this has been going on for months and months. So this is just a good faith kind of, just so that they see that things are moving positively and they're
so
not.
We're not actually voting on the amendment till it's presented to us by the planning, by our planning and zoning office.
Yes, next month. But this is just you're voting on a recommendation for this to pass.
And
yes.
I'm in full agreement with this. I think it's been needed. But every time we do something like this, it's got to go to Bristol, to Kingsport, before it ever comes back to us. And I know this particular one had to go to them 2 times. And that's why it got drug out.
Excuse me.
Went to Britain because there was a challenge, or there was a one-word change, and it had to go back for them to accept that change.
Excuse me, Commissioner Jones, but I believe that was regarding another text amendment to something completely different from this, and this was just on that same docket. So this actually there's not been anything wrong with this one. It's just kind of been kind of caught in the crossfire of everything. So.
Were you ready, Commissioner Jones? Oh. Did you turn your mic off, Commissioner Slade? I told him not to be hitting too many buttons.
Well, this may be out of order, but I do notice there's not a chair up there for the deputy chair, and I'm not sure if that's appropriate.
I gave him an invitation. He said.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come over since I sang.
You're recognized.
Thank you,
Slagle.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Yeah, it was deferred last month by Bristol Planning Commission just because we like to have Ms. Torbett and a representative there for anything that's Sullivan County related, but it did pass unanimously Monday for Bristol Planning, so call for question.
Exactly, the question has been called for. We have to vote on the call of the question, which cuts, and then all debate is cut off with the exception of call for question unless the sponsor would withdraw the call for a question and the sponsor is ready to vote on her resolution. We can do that either way.
I'm ready to vote. if
Do
you
you,
want.
do you withdraw your call? Commissioner Slagle withdraws his call for the question. Sponsor moves waiver of rules.
Yes, sir. Excuse me, I'm asking for waiver rules.
Sponsor moves waiver of rules on item number 18, requiring 16 votes for passage. When the board opens, please cast your vote on item number 18, requiring 16 votes for passage. Has every member voted? Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk.
19 yes, 1 abstain, 4 absent.
Having received the necessary majority of the votes cast, item number 18 is adopted. Without objection, recognize Commissioner Carr on item number 19.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a resolution expressing the county commission's opposition to a river overlay district and the use of eminent domain along the Holston River. If you guys remember, one of the first resolutions I did was a moratorium on zoning along the river in response to a lot of concern that we were getting about the river being overcrowded. So we sent that to the Planning Commission. They did a study. The study came back recommending no changes. And to be completely fair to them, we asked them to do something that wasn't in their wheelhouse. They did the best they could with it. And they didn't actually recommend a river overlay district, but they did include that in the study for informational purposes. So now a lot of the concerns that we're having are that someone might see that 20 years from now and think that that would be a good idea. So it's my hope this resolution could get stapled to the front of that study. That will take care of it. It was my resolution that started this, and I'd like for it to be my resolution that puts people's minds at ease. So I'd like to ask for waiver of rules on this.
You've heard the explanation. Sponsor moves waiver of rules on item number 19. The floor is open for discussion. Recognize Commissioner Glover on item number 19.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Joe, I want to thank you for stepping back up and bringing this forward and bringing it back in for us. The biggest part of this runs through Commissioner King and myself district. A small portion runs through the Bluntville district. And most of these folks that spoke out tonight are some of the hardest working people that you'll ever meet. Those folks that's worked on those farms and done what they needed to do over years to provide for their families. They've been very patient through this whole process, and they've been to every single meeting. They've done research, and I think we owe it to them to put this to bed and be done with it. Since it is affecting their area, they've made it very plain to us that they don't want it, and I see these folks on a daily basis, and I know how dedicated they are to their farms. I know how dedicated they are to their families. And they're just hard-working people. And just to be honest with you, they just don't want to be messed with. And I don't blame them. And they care about their grandkids also, because they want their grandkids to come forward and do on the farms what they've done over the years. And that's what we need in Sullivan County. We got to keep farming moving forward, and we got to keep farmland available. And any restrictions or anything that I always put on this type of land or close to it just scares me, because Brenda and I raise cattle and we farm and we love it. And I know they're passionate about it. They do it every single day. And I'm in 100% support of this resolution. Joe, you've done a phenomenal job the way you've got this written out and the way you've worked really hard on it. And this is something to be proud of, and I'm going to support you 100% on this. And thank you for bringing it back.
Recognize Commissioner King.
Thank you, Chairman. There again, Joe, thank you for doing this. You started it, and you said you're going to end it, so I hope that's right. And I'm full of support of this resolution, and let's get it passed. Thank you.
Recognize Commissioner Carr, final word on the resolution.
Thank you, Commissioner King. Thank you, Commissioner Glover. Let's get this thing passed.
Waiver rules.
Sponsor moves waiver of rules on item number 19, requiring 16 votes for passage. When the board opens, please cast your vote on item number 19, requiring 16 votes for passage. Has every member voted? Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk.
20 yes, 4 absent.
Having received the necessary majority for passage, item number 19 is adopted. Without objection, recognize Commissioner Crosswhite on item number 20.
Thank you, Chairman. Excuse me, this resolution is authorizing the transfer of our opioid abatement settlement funds from the county general fund into the newly established opioid settlement fund. We received funds totaling $1,456,380, and then we've got another fund for $1,117,210. These funds, these abatement funds should be managed specifically for all other government funds to transfer accountability and compliance with the financial regulations. So, in other words, these funds will be put in a separate account and used for what they're assigned for opioid funds. So it's, I like this on waiver rules, please.
You've heard the explanation on item number 20. Sponsor moves waiver of rules. The floor is open for discussion. Anyone seek recognition on item number 20? Seeing none, sponsor renews her motion for waiver of rules on item number 20 without objection. When the board opens, please cast your vote. Waiver of rules requires 16 votes for passage. Has every member voted? Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk.
20 yes, 4 absent.
Having received the necessary majority of the votes cast, item number 20 is adopted. Without objection, recognize Commissioner Ireson on item number 21.
Thank you, Chairman. This is, just to clarify what it is, the resolution is to allow Donna Whitaker's office to actually use Eagle View, which is a drone company that actually goes around, instead of having to have an individual person go to each individual house in Sullivan County and look at the property and see what's there. They're gonna use technology. We're dragging ourselves into the 20th century. And be able to go around and take a bird's eye view of every part of the house. It'll save a tremendous amount of time, save her a tremendous amount of effort. And what we normally have to do is every reappraisal year, they have to add extra staff. This is gonna take it away from that, so they'll be able to do this in-house. More so in-house. They may have to add someone, I don't put too many words in here, but it's gonna help them out a lot. And this money is coming from ARPA funds, so it's not taking anything out of our budget to do. It's gonna allow them to take care of it that way. If anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to help.
You've heard the explanation on item number 21. The floor is open for discussion. Recognize Commissioner Glover on item number 21.
Mark, you putting this on waiver, or are you putting this on first?
I'm gonna have to put it on waiver because there's one of the things in here that says, I'm not really sure on this, but I'm gonna put it on waiver rules, just because she needs to get this contract done, and we also need to get these funds allotted for this other.
Okay, I support what Ms. Whitaker's wanting to do, but, I mean, we gotta draw the limit somewhere. And, you know, flying drones over people's house, and, you know, in my opinion, that's invasion of privacy. And if you want to do something like this, you got Google. All you gotta do is pull it up on your phone or your computer, and you can go right down and see what's going on. And I mean, that's $182,362.
Right.
And my problem with it is the invasion of privacy. If I'm sitting in Chickapin on my porch having a cold beer, I don't want a plane flying over top of me measuring what size porch I got and I'm drinking the beer on.
Well,
It's simple.
I understand completely what you're saying, but the invasion of privacy So anyone that flies a zone, or flies a drone for any kind of commercial use, which is what this is, have to be certified by the FAA. They have to go through all the testing and all the certifications. So these people know what the laws are, they know the rules, and know everything about it. So as much as it might seem like an invasion of privacy, the airspace above your house does not belong to you. And they've gone through federal courts, and it's gone through a lot of different things. So all we're doing now is using the technology that's actually there. Instead of having a person walk through your yard, you told me one time before, somebody in your yard looking at, different things in the property. So any kind of invasion of property is always a process. But this allows them to be able to go and have a drone, house, and they just check a whole neighborhood in, a very short period of time versus somebody going and drawing out on a sketch pad. And when they take these kind of photos through this kind of imagery, they can know exactly what the distances are, they can know the sizes of it, and it all comes out into a computer printout that helps them out. I understand exactly what you're saying about invasion of privacy, but they are licensed and authorized, and they will be able to do it within the legal limits.
Commissioners Crosswhite and Means are seeking recognition, but I'm gonna, Property Assessor Whitaker has stepped forward. I'm gonna recognize Commissioner Whitaker first if there's no objection.
I just want to clarify, it is not drones. It is a one-time flyover. We'll use it for 2 years. So they do a one-time flyover in the wintertime when the leaves are off the trees, and we use that for 2 years. So it's not a drone getting down in your business, it's an airplane.
But I'm well, then I apologize greatly, because when we had our conversation, I thought it was gonna be drones with fixed-wing aircraft. It's even bigger, because it's gonna be from such an altitude, it's not gonna be a factor. But I apologize for that, because I thought we were, okay, we're not going to the 20th century, we're still going.
I just wanted to let y'all know that it wasn't a drone.
You sure? We should use drones.
Recognize Commissioner Crosswhite.
Thank
Item
you, Chairman.
21.
Mark or Donna?
We better ask her.
You mentioned this would save hiring additional people. How much would this save?
Well, we're looking at maybe going to the 2-year reappraisal. So that's gonna just come faster, of course, every 2 years. I had thought about getting 2 more people, so that's your insurance and your salaries and vehicles and everything for 2.
For 2 more. So we'd spend $182,000, but you would
That's
only
for
hire.
2 years. The
For
180 is
Okay.
2 years.
But you would have just hired 2 extra people. Okay, all right, thank you.
That's what I was planning on doing, and then talking to other counties. This is a
So other
lot
counties
more
are doing
efficient.
this also? Okay.
Yeah, Knox County and Rome for sure. I think Washington County's getting ready to start
Okay,
theirs.
all right, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Commissioner Means.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just have a couple of questions. Might not. Do you have an average amount, this might be from Ms. Whitaker, do you have an average amount of time you spend at each house?
We have a plan that we go through every year, 33% of the county. So I have 8 divisions, which means I have 8 people working each division of the county. It just depends on the depth. If it's a new construction, of course, it takes a lot more time. If it's just to recheck to see if anything's been added or taken away, it's more of a drive-by. So it varies.
All right. Thank you for what you do. And then this question is for Commissioner Iverson. This is a one-time, or is this a yearly increase in the budget?
This first off, it's not an increase in budget at all, it's coming out of ARPA funds, but this is a one-time expense for a 2-year deal.
Okay, excuse me, yes, I forgot to say that. Thank you.
Commissioner Glover.
Don, is this technology gonna be shared with planning and zoning?
It can be shared with all departments that need it. The Eagle View allows sharing.
So if planning and zoning wants to come to your department and see a certain area of the county, they can ask for that film clip or whatever from you, correct?
Eagle View can make it available to their office. They don't have to come to our office for it.
That clears the board. Anyone else seeking recognition on item number 21, Commissioner King.
This is the same technology that we use at the NRCS office over here. Every 2 years, we get a complete flyover of, well, it's the whole state of Tennessee. And also Farm Services Agency does the same thing, using the same technology. And we use those maps for farms and the practices that we do in that office. So without that, I mean, we couldn't operate without that technology, because if we had to send somebody out there to measure farms and fields and stuff like that, I mean, we couldn't do it. But with this technology, we can do it, and we update this about every 2 years. So it's something that's being used in the county anyway, so.
Yeah,
But I agree with what Herschel says. I don't want people flying something over my, farm or house or whatever, and, without me knowing what's going on, or, I can understand that, because, you gotta look at people's privacy. Thank you.
Commissioner Crosswhite.
Thank you, Chairman, and I'm gonna ask this, it might sound dumb, but, this price, so, planning and coding, they would use it for the same amount of money, they wouldn't have to take out.
When I talked to Eagle View, they said it was a shared program. We can share with
Okay,
anyone.
so they share it with any department, okay, all right, thank you.
Anyone else seeking recognition on item number 21? Commissioner Iverson?
Apologize for the confusion about airplane versus drone, but other than that, I ask for waiver of rules.
Sponsor moves waiver of rules on item number 21, requiring 16 votes for passage. When the board opens, please cast your vote on item number 21, requiring 16 votes for passage. Has every member voted? Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk?
17 yes. Excuse me. 17 yes, 3 no, 4 absent.
Having received the necessary majority for passage, item number 21 is adopted. That brings us to the end of our calendar of resolutions. Next order is general public comment. This is for non-agenda related items. If you wish to sign the sheet, if you haven't had an opportunity to sign the general public comment sheet, you have an opportunity to do that right now.
Can I do that?
I think I know your
Can you put
address.
my name on there?
We're gonna print one off.
Just put it on there automatically.
We can just start adding it on, if you don't mind.
And then you scratch it off if I don't.
And again, when you come up, you have 3 minutes. I'll let you know when your 3 minutes up and you wrap up. Introduce yourself, your address. We'll recognize you for 3 minutes. And again, this is general public comment. Recognize Victoria Hunt,
I will waive my time.
Melinda Morrell,
I'll waive my time.
Andrew Morrell,
Wait my time.
Jaquita Hickman,
Thank you, I'll waive my time.
Rodney Paget. The floor is yours.
I'll be quick. Obviously, Rodney Paget, 1125 Dalton Hills Road, Oklahoma, Tennessee. One thing I want to mention tonight is a couple of months ago, I was talking to one of the commissioners, and I was talking about how I like when you guys have work sessions and you discuss things with the whole body here. It's on camera, everybody can hear it. I don't love committee meetings because the public doesn't really get to see and hear what's going on, unless you go to every meeting, which is hard to do if you're working.
And I've heard discussions about how we should stop the work session and just have committee meetings and that sort of thing. But I just wanted to kind of share my experience here real quick. Last month, I went to go to the finance committee meeting, and I got up there, and I met Miss Harvey coming out the door, and I was like, what's going on? And she said, well, it got canceled, or postponed until the next week. There wasn't nothing online about that, though. It still showed that there was a meeting. So I came back the next week, attended that meeting, listened in. Was going to go to the education committee meeting last week, or last month. Found out when I got there that that had been canceled. And then I went to go to the finance committee meeting this month, got there, and found out that it had been canceled. So I've actually had a commission tell me, well, if you want to know what's going on, you should come to the committee meetings. Well, I've come to the ones I can make it to, but it's kind of frustrating when they keep getting canceled and there's nothing online to indicate it. So I'm not complaining, I'm just saying that this is my experience. Is there some way that we can work on updating an online calendar when things do get postponed or whatnot, so that the public has some notification of it? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else seeking recognition? General public comment. Without objection, the public comment portion of the agenda is closed. Announcements. Recognize Commissioner Means.
Yes, I just wanted to, for the record, ask if, I'm not sure if John Osborne, our Commissioner Secretary, is still here or not, yet or not, but for the record, I just wanted to see if I could put in a request that he be the designated person that keeps up with the online calendar that needs to be happening whenever we do have cancellations of meetings, because he is the Commission Secretary. So I wanted to put that out there. And then also, if he would not mind to fix Commissioner King's mic, because something is very wrong with his mic. So yeah, that's it. That's all I have. Thank you.
Commissioner Glover, you're recognized, sir.
Thanks, sir. If you notice tonight, Scott Murray was not here, and Eric Kearney was not here. Highway Department lost one of their employees there yesterday, day before yesterday, Richard Dunbar. Richard was an icon over at the Highway Department. He was one of the nicest fellows that you'd ever meet. And if you were Richard's friend, you had a friend. And I mean, you had a friend. But now, if Richard didn't like you, he'd tell you. And he'd let you know that he didn't like you. But that's the kind of respect that I had for him. And I want y'all to pray for his family, his wife, and his and the rest of his family out there in Chinquapin. He fought cancer for several months, and he was just a good-hearted fella. And I know he'll be missed. And we just ask for all that we pray for him and his family. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Commissioner Glover. Now we're going to try out Commissioner King's mic here. Commissioner King.
Thank you. This Saturday night in Hickory Tree, Tim White is, I don't know if y'all know Tim White, Bluegrass. He's having a concert there at the Hickory Tree store. So come out, come hungry. They got some great food out there. And listen to Tim White and his band as they play. It'll probably last, I don't know, 2.5 hours or something like that. But anyway, it's good times, and you know you can see a lot of different people out there. You might even see Herschel Glover and Brenda. So I don't know. Cutting the rug, yeah. So anyway, thanks.
And Commissioner Vanover just let me know that notice that Commissioner Travis Ward is not here. He's recovering from ankle surgery, and he's on his way home this evening. Hopefully he's doing well. Commissioner Jones.
travel safely. It's been snowing for a while, as you head home. But, a few people, they know who they are. I need the real-time ads. They call me to get those. You know who you are, so I appreciate it.
What about Reach Across America?
What about?
Maps?
Well, December 14th, when we put them out, the cutoff is tomorrow. Buying roofs.
And also, I've just been alerted that Sullivan County Schools is on a 2-hour delay tomorrow. Commissioner Stidham.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is still not correct. It was supposed to be added on to the Education Committee. He passed out a new one tonight. It still hasn't been updated.
We'll update that.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And traveling mercies for Deb and I, we are getting ready to hop aboard and we're flying to Chicago in the snow. We might slide right on in, literally slide in. Thank you all. Motion to adjourn by Commissioner Cross. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Stand adjourned. Thank you all.
Very well.